Well, certainly that won't be a part of it for me. For me, like every time I direct, it's like, don't screw it up. You know what I mean? Like literally, it's like, look, really talented cast, really talented writers. Try to like serve it. Try and do as best you can to make it a good story. Every episode you do is a story, and this will be a story, and you just really want to do your best to find the way to tell the story the right way. I know that's a trite answer, and it's kind of an obvious one, but it really is the truth. It's like, it feels like an honor, it feels like a privilege to do any of them, and I'll tell you a little bit why, not to go on and on about this, but you know, back in the day when we attempted to do, and I've been doing this for a long time, and some of you have too, like back when you tried, it was very difficult to suspend the disbelief, and nowadays we have the tools. I think it's why these shows, one of the reasons these shows are do well publicly is because the technology in many ways is caught up, and the economics and the technology have merged in the sense that now we can, you know, the last one I directed, it's like, you know what, we had 3 kind of finales, and I was like, you know what would be really good is if Grant went up and got the helicopter. And you need a helicopter, you need skyline, you need an alleyway, you need all these effects and the thing, and then you need to like paint in the stuff that you can't actually shoot. I can't have him run up the sky, but I got to get that shot. And nowadays I can do that shot. You know, I can have the budget for it, and that used to be the domain of the big screen. You know, like it just used to be, and now it's like it's astonishing. We did even every year when you're directing and you work with these people. It just gets, the cutting edge, it just gets better and better and better. The finishing, all the stuff that they're doing, it's just incredible. And so, but even like 4 years ago, we had a plane crash sequence on our show that was astonishingly visceral to me. I was just like, this is everything. It's not like like, oh, you could see the plane going into it was shot well, it looked good, and it was like, that is one of the reasons that these shows work, you know, you can actually make that happen on the small screen. And when you're directing and you get a chance to like play with these things, you know, it's like, it's not just you and me talking on, just talking. We're talking on a bridge, and the bridge is collapsing, and the Dementors are coming to grab you. You know, it's just like awesome. You know what I mean? And we can actually make that happen. It's pretty cool.
Tom, can you tell us what is the new version of Harrison Wells that we're going to be seeing?
So, you know, every time I do one, I try and fill some gaps that we might be missing. So Harry was like, I played Reverse Flash in the first season, and so like that was the big villain. And I thought, it'd be nice to have the antagonism every day. And Harry was that guy. He was an asshole. Pardon my language. He was a bit of a jackass. Good guy ultimately, but he could, Barry is so winning, and Cisco is so winning, and Caitlin is so winning, and and Iris is so winning, and Joe is so winning. And then there's this guy who's like not, and it gave them some good things to play. Then the next season was like, well, we can do? We can have a little more humor, and that was, HR, who Harry thought was an idiot, and HR thought Harry was the greatest thing ever. And it was great to play that kind of enthusiasm. And then he ended up being heroic in his own right. And then this season, I thought we have a lot of things to. I don't know how much you know about the upcoming season, but we have a lot of things that we kind of have to solve as opposed to one sort of big thing. And we thought, well, you know what? If we created this guy who's the Sherlock Holmes character, and then that's been done 1,000 times. So my take on it was like, maybe if he's like Sherlock, Sherlock was, and maybe if he isn't, potentially, maybe he is, and maybe he isn't the most upstanding, maybe there are flaws and weaknesses, which always appeals to me. One of the things about the Iron Man thing I thought was so great is that they were so flawed and they were weak, and they were but they were so good, and they elevated the material. So we can take a swing with this guy, who maybe you can trust him and maybe you can't. I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be fun to play it.
He's going to come from a different Earth?
Yes. Yeah. They all come from different Earths. Yeah. Are you lurking?
We're all set.